What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Friday, December 1st, and we are once again at the Polderbaan, where this morning departures take place. Runway configuration is similar to yesterday. The departures take place to the north from the runway 36 left, where we are standing next to, and the runway 36 center. Kaagbaan 06 is being used for arrivals. This is the current weather situation, pretty comparable to yesterday. Let me refresh to be sure that this is the latest METAR. There is a little bit of wind from the east, northeast, varying between a little bit more to the north and a bit more to the south. Handful of knots, scattered clouds at 1600 feet, visibility is 10 kilometers or more. The temperature is around freezing, just exactly freezing according to the METAR. No significant changes are expected. There's no use in looking at the weather radar because there is no precipitation in the vicinity, nor will there be any precipitation nearby. We're looking to be dry for the remainder of the stream. This is runway usage once again visualized. We are standing right here at the beginning of Polderbaan. Center runway also being used, and landings take place on the Kaagbaan. Oh, let's go back to the software, get rid of the screen in screen. Good morning to everybody who is already awake and has joined the chat. Stefan, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Who else is there? Jackie, goedemorgen. Koen, goedemorgen. Let's see. Hey, John, good morning or good afternoon to you. Good to see you again. Marja, goedenavond. Leen, goedemorgen. Edward, goedemorgen. Eva, goedemorgen. Erwin, goedemorgen. Camille, salut. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope all is well. Hey there, Peter, good morning. Gosse, goedemorgen, kerel. Father Norman, good morning. Good to see you again. Ben, goedemorgen. Adriaan, good morning. Lena, goedemorgen. Let me quickly go to the camera first. We have an airplane ready to depart. Delta A330 going to NA. Today is the first time that I am out with the renovated tripod. Yesterday, after I was done streaming, I went to the AV store to get the drag replacement for the pan axis replaced, the left-right movements. And man, what a difference. There are 3 settings of increasing resistance, and setting 1 is already far more drag than I was used to. So I'm now having to adjust operating the camera. So if sometimes I lose track of the subject, my apologies. I'm still trying to get used to the new modus operandi. I also had to increase the drag on the vertical axis, the tilt axis, otherwise it would be unbalanced. So much more drag with this new mechanism now. Did not have any time to test it out substantially. Getting home, I had a terrible headache that did not go away, so I went to bed early yesterday evening. I'm happy to say that it is now gone, but did not have the time to test things out extensively at home. This is United Airlines Flight 71, 777-200 going to Newark. 23 years old, first flight July 2000. I hope that the sound of the airplanes is better now than it was yesterday. Listened back to the stream yesterday evening and I heard that it was pretty silent most of the time, and when the airplanes passed there was some noises that shouldn't have been there. Some of you called the airplanes screamers when they went by, but that was not the sound they were supposed to be making. Also, when pointing the camera to the waterfall, I noticed that you guys could not hear it on the stream. I tested it just now and you should normally be able to hear it right now, but with all the airplane noises and me talking, you probably won't hear it. Maybe if there are no airplanes, we can test it out. But it's getting a bit busy here. So first let's focus on filming the traffic. EasyJet flight 22512 going to London Luton. Airbus A320, 12 years old, first flight May 2011. There's also 777 lined up behind it. And there's an airplane coming this way. So there does seem to be a bit of resistance when initiating the panning movements. A little jump. That will go away eventually. Alright, gear up. Yes. Well, quick big picture overview. Looking to the north, this is what it looks like. Morning, folks. The moon is once again out this morning. And this is looking to the west. Looking to the east. And a little bit south of east. We have a correndon that does not show on flight radar. So, not sure where it's going to go to. The 777 at the threshold has not yet lined up, still holding short. Not exactly sure why that is. Right, well, looking on flight radar, I do see that the 777 behind me is now lining up. Hello there. Let's see, this is China Southern Cargo, flight 452 going to Shanghai. 777 freighter, 3 years old, first flight March 2020. More heavies. Action coming up. Airbus A330 300 from Delta. Flight 179 going to Portland, Oregon. 20 years old, first flight January 2003. Well, good morning everybody who has joined in the meantime. I was still busy trying to say hello to everybody on an individual basis, but then it got busy here. Welcome everybody who has joined us in the meantime. Another morning of departures over here. Another Delta A330 taking off without any issues. That's always good to see. We have seen it otherwise not too long ago even. Our next airplane is already lined up. It's the KLM 007 going to London Heathrow. 737-800. 24 years old, first flight August 1999, a millennial. Where was I? Lena and Erin, Peter, good morning. J.O. Johansson, good morning. Ian, good morning. Jack, good morning. Dirk, good morning. Anonymous, good morning. Robbie, goedemorgen, good morning. Will I ever catch up? Probably not. How is the audio today? And I'm talking about the ambient noises. The airplanes, when they pass by, do you hear any odd screaming noises or does it sound normal? Also, if I point the camera towards the waterfall, can you guys pick up on it? Yesterday I aimed the camera and to the waterfall and you didn't hear it. I think it had to do with the cold and maybe there was some condensation on the condenser of the microphone. So what I did yesterday evening was put the bag with my microphone and camera already in my hallway, which is cooler than the living room, also probably a bit less humid, and also kept my car less warm on the way over here, hopefully making chances of condensation forming in the mic smaller. It is Choc-y. Our DAPRI German Airways Embraer 190 flying for KLM. We all know the specs. 15 years old, first flight January 2008. Now, I have to skip the chat. And say a big thank you to Davey, who just now super chatted and said, "Morning boy, first snow of winter in Lincolnshire. I heard it yesterday, you guys in parts of the UK are having quite snowy conditions. Get the skis out, do some winter sports, build Frosty the Snowman, and particularly don't get stuck in traffic. Thank you so much for your super chat, Davey, and I hope you enjoyed the snow over there in Lincolnshire. I, for one, always love a good snow. Snowy winter, I was about to say. Although over here in the Netherlands, and particularly where I live in the west, near the sea, it's always wet snow that melts and makes for a lot of mess most of the time. Right, so we have one airplane, two airplanes coming this way. And interestingly, both are not visible on flight radar when I have my filter for inbound and outbound to AMS applied. So let's get rid of that, and we can see that the first airplane is a Choc-y Max 8. Where it's going to, I don't know. It's a 2-year-old airplane, first flight February 2021. Oh, that was unintentional, but once again, thank you for your super chat, Davey. I was trying to scroll down and highlight Big Al's message, who is celebrating 3 months of AMS Live membership, and says, "Good morning, boy, you legend. Awesome channel. Thank you so much for your continued support, Big Al. Good to see you again, Alan." And thank you for your kind words. Glad you're enjoying, and I hope everybody is. As I was setting up here, it was really quiet, but now it has become quite busy, which of course is nice, but doesn't allow me a lot of time to catch up with you guys in the chat, unfortunately. Good morning, one and all who has joined us. In the meantime, you're watching AMS Live. We're here at the Polderbaan, where departures take place. Parallel departures are in progress. The center runway also being used to the north to depart from. And we are standing at what is now runway 36 right, no, left. We're used to 18 right, but it is 36 left now. Shamrock A320. Which is either going to Cork or to Dublin. I think those are the two destinations that Aer Lingus flies to from Amsterdam. Or flies to Amsterdam from, I should say. Coming this way. This is an Embraer 190. The engines are relatively small. You can see that the winglets are upright, not outward pointing. And this is KLM flight 987 to London City. Right, well, it's a world of difference in drag compared with yesterday, and there does seem to be a little bit of stiction that when you start a movement it has a tendency to jump a little bit every now and then. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I hope that wears off. Probably will in due course. Definitely a significant improvement in drag compared with what it was before. Right, at the moment no traffic coming this way. I do hear something taking off from center, let's see. KLM 737. Right, well, there is traffic coming this way. I also had a look at the departures list, the schedule, and there were one or two 747s that were expected to depart somewhere before 1 p.m. I'm not sure exactly when they are actually going to depart, because that's always the trouble with cargo airplanes. They're never really on a fixed schedule. Hopefully we'll get to see one or two. Yesterday we were lucky, got to see one up close and one from center. Looking at flight radar, I can see that there are at least two 737s coming this way, a MAX 8 from TUI and a regular 800 from KLM to Helsinki. Also an E2 Embraer going to Hamburg, looking to come this way. I can also see that KLM flight 601 is coming this way, going to LAX, the 787-10 Dreamliner. And there's the first airplane making its way over here. So good morning one and all. Wendelbert, Brian, Bernd, Drew, Leo, David, good morning, and good morning to all the others. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is warm. Not too warm. I think the people over down under in Australia are often too warm these days. 40 Celsius. I often see back in the chat, that's a bit too much. Yeah, there's definitely some stiction here, so. Drag at the cost of stiction. Not sure if that is supposed to be what it should be. On the right, we can see the next airplane coming this way, the regular 737-800. In the foreground, we see TUI. Flight 1661 will be going to Tenerife. Nice and sunny, hopefully, over there. Normally it is around 20 degrees all year round there. MAX 8, 4 years old, first flight February 2019. If all goes well, you guys should now be hearing this waterfall. If the Sennheiser works properly again. Now, in terms of water life, animal life in the water, let's have a look. Don't think there are any birds, or is there one? No, that is the fauna rustling a little bit in what wind there is. There's not a lot of wind. You can see that the water is still mostly mirror-like, just a few ripples. It's a bit more uneasy than yesterday, but still nothing significant. And also further to the north, not much to be seen. Moon is clearly visible. Now I can zoom in quite far, but not far enough to see all the craters in detail. It's not a telescope, unfortunately, this camera. And the MAX 8 is slowly but surely making its way over here. Will it depart? Oh wait, that's the that's the other. This is the MAX 8 went all ninja style and was already at the threshold. Nice. Sneaky bastard. At least an A330 you can hear, and you know you can hear where it is without having to look behind you. But not with these newer airplanes. Need an additional set of eyes in your back, as we say in Dutch. Right, KLM flight 1167 going to Helsinki, 737-800, 12 years old, first flight March 2011. Let's go. Right, got another batch of airplanes over here. The first airplane is an E2 Embraer going to Hamburg. Already lined up. Let's see, that is KLM flight 1779. 2 years old, first flight October 2021. KLM flight 601 also arrived at the premises over here. Lights are on. Showtime. There's the jump again. Did not have that before. I think it has to do with too much resistance, but it is already the setting with the least drag. See if we can do that better. Still testing things out here a little bit. Hey Wendy, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. This is what the chimney smoke or vapor is doing. KLM flight 601 already lined up, ready to go to LAX. 787-10 Dreamliner, 3 years old, first flight to January 2020. And howdy Paul, goedemorgen. Tuning in from sunny Noordwijk. Well, over here the sun is out as well. It was interesting yesterday. I had to go more land inward to Hilversum after I was done streaming, and as soon as I left Amsterdam it already was grey and foggy. Night and day difference. And then shortly after having come home around the end of the afternoon, wanted to go out for a few groceries and I saw that it had completely fogged down. It was really misty and foggy, couldn't see further than 100 meters, maybe even less, probably less. So I was very afraid that this morning it would have been completely fogged down and we couldn't do a live stream this morning. But I was very happy to see that all the fog had cleared over in my hometown. So I had a look at the weather radar. Only in the north of the country there was still a small area of fog and the rest of the country more or less clear. Normally when it fogs and it happens overnight, it usually sticks until, well, end of the morning, beginning of the afternoon, if not less, later. So I was pleasantly surprised. Martin R, goedemorgen. Now, next up is an EasyJet A319. We'll be going to London Gatwick. 12 years old, first flight January 2011. And also Maria celebrating 2 months of AMS Live membership today. Thank you so much for your continued support and also congratulations. She writes, time flies when you're having fun. Happy to be here. I'm happy to have you here. I hope that you will stick around for many more months to come, Maria. Thank you so much for your continued support and congratulations. Here we go. Howdy Benjamin, goedemorgen. Doing well, thank you for asking. Hope the same goes for you. Howdy Gerrit, goedemorgen. Indeed, nice to be back at the Polderbaan. I didn't expect it. Probably you guys were having the same fog as we were having yesterday evening. I really was scared for today's stream. Thought, well, maybe in the afternoon then, but it all went well. The fog went away overnight, which is rather exceptional this time of year. Particularly considering that there still is not a lot of wind, and usually overnight there's even less wind than during the day. So, as my geography teacher in high school always used to say in Dutch, vraag niet hoe het kan, maar profiteer ervan. Which doesn't translate to a similar expression in English, but literally translated it means don't ask how it's possible, but just profit off of it. More or less. Right, let's have a look. Dreamliner to Bogota is at the de-icing. A couple of planes are underway. But it does look like a lot of them will first be going to the center runway for departures. Right, so that is what we are going to do now first. Look at the departures that take place from center while we await more traffic coming to Polderbaan. Guy, good morning, good to see you again. So at the threshold of the center runway we have KLM flight 1845, 737-800 going to Vienna. 23 years old, first flight July 2000. Penthorn, good morning. Tuning in all the way from East Yorkshire. Right, sneaky bastard passed by me. I do see that there's an A220 from Air Baltic coming this way. We'll be going to Tallinn. Let's see. E2 lined up at center. Going to Nice. KLM flight 1253. Got a couple of birds here flying over. Hey, and also a airplane without a well, I'm not going to bother. Will be very hard to see an airplane that doesn't produce a contrail. Well, the Air Baltic is still coming this way. Haven't seen the firefighters yet. I did hear their intercom a few times, but the doors so far have remained shut. So I don't think they've done their round yet, or they were really early today. Now, speaking of firefighters, there is a firefighter related truck coming there. I'm not sure why. Maybe the beginning of a new shift. Maybe fresh donuts, who knows? I think that the Air Baltic A220 is indeed coming. And also another departure. (737-700) by the looks of it. And good morning, Drone and Oldies, Evelyn, Mark. Hey, Miss Wolves, good morning, good to see you again. Good morning, John, tuning in from San Francisco. Right, more air traffic coming this way. Let's have a look. I was at the beginning of the center runway on flight radar. Right, EasyJet A320 is what we are seeing in the distance. Looking a bit further down, we can see an Embraer 190. We can... Ah, geese. Thought I heard something, hope you guys picked up on it as well. Got a Dreamliner to Houston coming this way. And still a lot of narrow bodies in the meantime. Up first is Air Baltic flight 858. A220-300 going to Tallinn, which is continuing to the runway threshold. That would be the EasyJet A320 that has question marks on its label. Same thing we had yesterday, where flight radar did not show a lot of the details of the airplanes taking off from Schiphol. Magnificent airplane. Airbus A220, originally Bombardier C series. You can clearly see the heritage of the bizjet manufacturer in the design. Quiet as a mouse. was zooming out a little bit to see if I could get a duo shot of the parallel departing. What is it? Heavy. Wasn't able to capture them both. Good morning to Thomas. K1, sounding the horn coming from behind, passing by. And a big thank you to Arjan, who just became a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Arjan. Thank you for your support. Hope you like the seats. Best seats in the house. Tested them out myself. Very comfy and plush. Sit back and relax, and don't forget to use the custom emojis that are at your disposal when appropriate or whenever you feel like it. Right, so this is an EasyJet A320. I have absolutely no idea where it's going to go to, but it does say that it is 9 years old and the first flight was in April of the year 2014. Right, I hear action right of me, so let's zoom out and quickly have a look at what is lining up. Another Embraer 190 going to Linkoping, KLM flight 1179, more traffic behind it. This airplane is 14 years old, had its first flight in September of the year 2009. No time to waste, got a 737 that is now ready to go. And there's a big bird at the threshold waiting to go after it. Again, an airplane where we don't have any information given by flight radar, but it is a 15-year-old 737. Mike K, good morning. Good to see you. And Rod, good morning. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime as well, good morning to you all. Sunny departures over here from Schiphol Airport. We have a little bit of wind blowing from the northeast to east. Departures take place to the north. Parallel departures are in progress. Morning once again from me over here. This is looking to the west. This is looking to the north. This is looking to the east. This is looking to the south. Visibility is better than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was a bit nebulous. Clear views now on ground level. KLM flight 661, 787-9 going to Houston, Texas. Unfortunately, no vortices or wing fluff today. This airplane is 7 years old, first flight August 2016. Good morning, Roland, who is tuning in from frosty Cambridge. Many parts of Europe, it's frosty right now. In many parts of Europe, I should say. Right, second Air Baltic of the show, again in standard livery, going to Riga, flight 618. 1-year-old airplane, first flight February 2022. Ricardo, goedemorgen. And indeed, Austrian Wolf, brake dust we did see. In fact, that is better, visible much better today than it was yesterday. 777-200 to Quito from KLM behind it. This Air Baltic, you will see it appear in the background on the left in a moment. So it seems that my tripod, although it has significantly more drag right now on the left-right movements, the panning, does seem to have what is called stiction. It means that you have to overcome the initial resistance and it jumps a little bit. I hope that will wear down a little bit after having broken it in a little bit. This is better, so it's not each time. Really hope that the growl came through properly. It's a beautiful sound over here in real life. WD-40 I think is going to make things worse, Austrian Wolf. It's a closed mechanism that has grease in it, and what happened with the old mechanism, because I asked the mechanic when he replaced it if I could look over his shoulder to see how it's done, because I already saw on YouTube a film where it didn't look that difficult, but I figured, well, you're the professional, you do it first, and if I look along, I can do it myself the next time if ever necessary. It's a closed system with discs with grease in between causing resistance, and the grease had seeped out through cracks, or the seams I should say. So eventually, as more grease seeped away, the resistance, the drag got less. I think if you introduce a thinner lubricant, you will only make the grease more thin and maybe overdo it. But WD-40 is a good fix for almost everything. Right. Now, interesting. Well, no. Singapore A350 to Singapore seems to be at the de-icing right now. However, with runway center still open, I think it is not going to take off from this runway. Little bizjet in the meantime has taken off. Can I still find it? Much smaller and higher already. Colin Mac, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Our next airplane is a 787-10 Dreamliner to Bogota, Colombia, coming this way. It's a pity that we cannot see the de-icing from over here, or at least I think we cannot see it. It should be a bit more to the right, but then you have all these fences, and then you have this radar building or whatever it is in the way. I think the de-icing takes place somewhere over there in the distance, but it is even behind the center runway, so it is relatively far away from over here. So one of our helicopter Praetor birds hovering just adjacent to the tower. Right, well, if it is going to sit still, unfortunately this is the most I can zoom in with optical zoom. How about I quickly enable digital zoom? Oh, no, digital zoom. See if we can also maybe change the focus to autofocus, see if we can improve a little. Doesn't seem to do much. Right, well, back to manual zoom and also optical zoom. Disable digital zoom. Right. Had to temporarily take off my glove to do that, so got everything back on again. Looks like the bird controller is also inspecting the runway as the Dreamliner to Bogota is making its way over to the runway threshold. Let's have a look. Singapore A350 will be taking off next, so Let's see if we can capture it. Singapore Airlines flight 323 to Singapore. Because I think that the Dreamliner to Bogota is holding short. So I think we might get to see the A350 first. It is slowly moving to the runway threshold now. The Dreamliner. So on the one hand, I'm waiting for the Dreamliner. On the other hand, I'm looking to the center runway where I am expecting the Singapore Airlines A350 any minute now. Then again, the Dreamliner is now lining up. It's a very unfortunate timing. And it is already going. And there is the A350. Son of a bitch. The Singapore A350 going back to Singapore. Alright, well, at least we have another heavy ready to go from Polderbaan in a moment. Airbus A330-200, KLM flight 627 going to Miami, Florida. This particular airplane is 17 years old. First flight was in November 2006. And good morning to Dave Lee. And Mike says that the Surinam Airways A340 to Paramaribo is expected to depart at 11:18. So that is just over half an hour from now. That's definitely an airplane taking off from this runway. I can tell you that. You'll never catch me! As the airplane moves away from the bird control vehicle. So, things are still quite calm over here. You can see the water is near mirror-like. You can see the smoke from the chimney rising nearly vertically. See, we have a different source of pollution or smoke or whatever it is. Over at the fire station, the windsock is completely disabled. Not doing anything. Hey, interesting. The zoom motor seemed to be making a bit of noise. Not sure if all my equipment is equipped to handle the temperatures. Nah, it should be good. Maybe that motor needs a little WD-40. That could be possible. Hey there, Sanjeep. Good morning. And Nick is back. Good morning, Adriaan. All other viewers who have joined us in the meantime, welcome to you too. Hope everybody is having a good time over here. Friday morning, the sun is out, nice and calm weather. What else could you want? KLM flight 1143 going to Oslo, 737-800, 12 years old, first flight May 2011. En goedemorgen Matthias, Marcel, goedemorgen, Flavia, buongiorno. Alright, Vion says that 36 Center is going to close pretty soon, meaning that all traffic will be taking off from this runway pretty soon. They are doing some construction along the grass there. Saw that yesterday too. Not sure what they're doing there. Makes for a nice change. No tractors, but excavators or whatever they're called. Also saw some movement at the fire station, but that is a marechaussee B1. I am hearing, oh, an airplane passing right over me. Shall I give it a go? No contrail. But I lucky break, did catch it. Passing right over me. Moving west to east. Maybe a little bit to the north. Is that Delta? Not sure. Looks like a Dreamliner looking at the wing shape, but you guys tell me. Is that the third Air Baltic? Does look like it. Where's that? Nah, it's not an A220, is it? Right. Enough of going blind. Let's zoom out and have a look at flight radar. Yeah, it was the Air Baltic to Vilnius. All three Baltic state capitals. We've now seen two of them from this runway, the third one just now from center. And there's traffic coming this way, but not before the 777-300 ER to Cape Town has just taken off from center. Definitely makes for nice following, more drag. Absolutely nice. Now I hope you guys are hearing this properly. Nice and relaxing. Yesterday the mic did not function the way it normally should. But you should be hearing a relaxing waterfall sound. Maybe an idea for a second YouTube channel. Just point a GoPro at this and do a live stream for 12 hours or something. Just with, instead of a fireplace, this man-made small waterfall. Good morning to all viewers who have joined in the meantime. Welcome to the show. Center runway will be closing soon. The heavies are coming this way. Let me frame stuff so that you guys can see. Let's also have another look at the current status quo. Runway usage has changed. 2 runways open for arrivals now. The only runway in use for departures is the runway we are standing next to. In terms of the weather, okay, interesting. Wind has now changed to a little south of east, still a handful of knots, so I'm not thinking they are going to change the runway usage relatively soon, but it's always good to keep in mind. Temperature is 0 degrees right now, the dew point is -2. I will also update the METAR in the ticker and the runway usage. So at the moment, arrivals take place on 06 and 36 right, and departures only take place from 36 left. There you go. And Daniel says no water sound, so apparently my mic is not doing well with the cold conditions. Heard it yesterday as well, listening back, that also when airplanes passed by you heard some noises that you normally shouldn't hear. This morning while setting up here, I did hear the waterfall when I pointed the camera to it. I always do a monitor check, and I did hear it, so I think maybe the membrane then in the duration of the morning has become a bit rigid, or maybe some condensation has arisen on it. But normally this morning when I pointed the camera like so, I could clearly hear the sound of the water. In the meantime, a lot of airplanes are coming this way, so let's have a look. It's going to get busy since this is now the only runway being used for departures. We have 1, 2, 3 airplanes over there, 4 and 5. Leading the pack is Delta Airlines Flight 161. Destination unknown. It is an Airbus A330-300. 20 years old, first flight October 2003. Next up is going to be a KLM 737 going to Stockholm. KLM Flight 1109. 23 years old this airplane, first flight June 2000. Number 3 is Delta Airlines Flight 143, another Airbus A330-300 going to Seattle, Washington. And that is an airplane that is 7 years old and had its first flight in January 2016. And then we have a 777-200 going to Rio de Janeiro, KLM flight 705, 18 years old, first flight January 2005. And the 737 going to Stockholm is coming this way, doing a turn and burn rolling start in fact. Alright, well, Delta Airlines flight 161 to destination unknown is pulling up right now. Again, 20 years old, first flight October 2003. Let's go. To Minneapolis. Thanks, Mike. Gear is retracting, albeit ever so slowly, in fashion of the A330. And good morning to Flavia and Nicolo. And all other viewers who have joined in the meantime. Hope everybody is doing well, hope everybody is having fun. And if you haven't smashed the like button yet, don't forget to do so if you're liking what you're seeing. This is Delta Airlines flight 143, Airbus A330-300, going to Seattle, Washington in a few moments. 7 years old, first flight January 2016. Die Paula, goedemorgen. Hey Tiger, goedemorgen, good morning. Josephine, good morning, goedemorgen. the 777-200 going to Rio de Janeiro. And lining up behind me is the first SAS CRJ of the show. And I think also the first Vueling that we are going to see today, A321 going to Barcelona. But first, the CRJ SAS flight 2551 going to not available, probably Copenhagen or something. 6 years old, first flight June 2017. Ah, indeed Copenhagen. Thanks, Mike. I'm assuming Mike isn't using flight radar because it has been very flaky today and yesterday too. Nicolo says, fun fact, me and Flavia are Italians. I wouldn't have guessed. Benvenuti. Elias, bom dia. Right, a little bit of wake turbulence that has to dissipate, so I think that's why the weight is looking behind me. No yellow pickup trucks on the runway somewhere, so. And here we go. Vueling A321 after Barcelona. Up next, flight 8301, 8 years old, first flight July 2015. And a very good morning to Jerry. Thank you so much for your super chat. Jerry says, I'm going to put a pancake on my head. Good to see you again, Jerry. Hope all is well. Thank you so much for your super chat. Make sure that it's not a warm a pancake that isn't too warm. Don't want to get burnt. Flavia asks if we understand Italian. Well, I understand just a little bit, un po'. Not sure about all the others over here. Hey Han, goedemorgen. And indeed, no glide slope shots here today. We'll have to make do with hazy shots of airplanes coming towards us. No butt shots, but head shots. but in a good sense. Hey John, back again? Were you gone? Thought you were lurking in the background all the time, but apparently you've been out for a moment. Good to see you again. Ah, Evelyn also understands a little bit of Italian. 0.10001% to be. Okay, so that's a handful of words, which is better than nothing, I suppose. Embraer 190 time. This is the Embraer 190 to Basel, KLM flight 1985, 5 years old, first flight February 2018, and behind it is an Embraer 190 from BA going to London City shortly. Hey. That's not good. Well, they took their sweet time. The engine sounded stabilized, but they did not commit to takeoff thrust immediately. No politically touchy subject here, Nicolo. Asking if I like ananas on a pizza, pineapple. That's going to get heated debates going. I'm going to refrain from answering that. British Airways to London City. All right. Hey, the fire trucks have come out of the station, or at least 2 of the 3 vehicles. They also seem to have a running engine. Hey, I think we are just in time to see them depart for their daily patrol round. Perfect timing. In the meantime, an A320 from EasyJet going to Prague, going to the runway threshold. Turn and burning. Well, Nicolo, ananas is also pineapple in Dutch, so I immediately understood your question. But English speakers will probably not know what ananas means, but it means pineapple both in Dutch and in Italian apparently, which I did not know. It's almost as if I'm hearing a turboprop, but that can't be. So you guys are not hearing the waterfall when I point the camera right now towards it. Because that means that the microphone quality has deteriorated. I did hear it when testing before going live. You can see the prop. I now see the prop too. Hey! What the fuck? So I wasn't imagining it. Let's see, DH8C-8, is that the Coast Guard -8 then? Let's see, it doesn't say the registration, nothing. No, but the de Havilland -8-100, it's the 100, the one from the Coast Guard, and it always takes off from... It always takes off from Schiphol Oostbaan, runway 22, 0422. Okay, Optimus Toaster does confirm that you can hear it. Yeah, it's of course very soft sound, and particularly when there are airplanes like the turboprop in the background, it overpowers it, but yesterday I couldn't hear it. At least listening back to the stream of yesterday, so I'm thinking maybe the sound quality is a bit better than today than it was yesterday. Did take some precautionary measures to prevent condensation from forming on the condenser of the mic, which I think might have happened yesterday. Either that or the cold, but I did look at the specs and the Sennheiser MKE 600 should be able to deal with -10 Celsius. And with the sun out here, it's definitely warmer than that right now, and also yesterday. Alan has to go again. Thanks for joining, Big Al. See you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Austrian Wolf also hears the waterfall. Okay, well, for a minute you guys had me scared there. I thought you guys weren't hearing it, like the same thing happened yesterday. I hope you can take in the sound of the -8. Still not knowing where it's going to, but man, that's been a while. Effing awesome. Oh, is this maybe a calibration flight for the ILS system? No, that's the Union Jack. Okay, if anybody knows where this airplane is going to, or more details, do let me know. Yeah, A320 to London Heathrow is taking off behind me, but I find this a bit more interesting to follow for a moment. Pretty soon I'm going to get wires tangled. Right, well, it is now west of me and flying to the south. Will we see it again? Who knows? Hey, Yorkshire! Morning, Paul. Did you see that? A turboprop. I thought they had gone extinct over here. Last time we saw them more regularly was before Flybe went bankrupt. And after that, only on occasion do we sometimes see the Dash 8-100 from the Coast Guard. But that usually takes off and lands on 0422, the Schiphol Oostbaan. Right. This jet coming in. E550 it says here, and that's it. Some kind of mask on the tail depicted. Almost looked like one of those Venetian masks. Oh. And here come the firefighters. Too late, buddy. Top gear, they are on high speed today. Right, a little bit of back and forth, non-stop action here. Emirates A388 going to Sint Maarten. KLM flight 777. "18-year-old airplane, first flight August 2005. But did you guys see that? There was like a mask or something depicted on the tail of that biz jet. Bit like Norwegian, but less grumpy. Hey JD, Morgan. Nice of you to be in the chat again, if only for a brief moment. Hope all is well. Air Europa lining up in the distance going to Madrid. Flight 1098. And Miss Wolf says, boy, the prop plane was a new plane for the US Army. But it had the Union Jack on it. Looked more British than US Army. Interesting. Are they going to repaint it then? Okay. Interesting, interesting. So the Dash 8 was for the US Army. Hans says it had a Canadian registration, and Miss Wolf says that it was meant for the US Army, even though we had the Union Jack on its tail. Interesting. A mystery plane. Anyway, I think there's another bizjet also ready to come this way shortly. We have another airplane at the threshold. Let's see, that is indeed Chunky, a plane of many nations. This is KLM flight 1303 that we're looking at. Embraer 190 will be going to Toulouse, 15 years old, first flight October 2008. And the heaviest rush hour seems to have begun, because after this airplane, Dreamliner, A330, and the firefighters are trying to cross the streets. 777. And was there now also a bizjet? There is. Oh, and I seem that it's always trouble here when it's a bit muddy, that the horizon seems to have shifted a little bit. I think one of the tripod legs has sunk a little bit into the mud over here, which happens over time often. Let's see if I can fix that in a moment. Alright, well, another airplane that is not showing on flight radar over here. And we have a bizjet over there. This is a NetJets Embraer Phenom 300, 4 years old, first flight January 2019. Stupid horizon. Let me see if I can fix that right away. Not really an improvement. It should be a bit better. Embraer Phenom already rotating. Look at how high it is already. Amazing. And it seems that we are going to get another bizjet departure before the heavies. Or at least, what is this? No, that's not a bizjet. Is that a government airplane? Slovak Republic. This is the commercial airliner that Old School. Slovakian military, Hans says, and it is a Fokker 100 now. Did you guys hear what that sounded like? Old School. Firefighters testing the water equipment. Indeed, John, whiny engines. Old school sounds that you don't hear that often anymore. Back to the more modern whining of this KLM. After San Francisco, KLM flight 605, 787-10 Dreamliner, brand new, began flying in May this year, still under warranty. Right, next up is Delta. Delta Airlines Flight 73, going to Atlanta, Georgia. Airbus A330-300. 6 years old, first flight, March 2017. Let's go. Alright, well, next up is KLM Flight 791, 777-300ER going to Sao Paulo. The airplane is 14 years old, had its first flight in May 2009. First time I'm noticing a little bit of wind here. I also thought I saw the airplane correct for wind a little bit, and you can see a bit of ripples. Center also being used again, of course. The windsock at the fire station a bit more alive. And we have another heavy ready to go from Polderbaan. Another 777, it's double triple time. KLM Flight 735 going to Curaçao, Willemstad, 8 years old, first flight February 2015. Right. Seems that for now we have a moment to spare. Gives me some time to head out to the computer. And say a big thank you to Rich, who just now became a member of the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Rick. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for your support once again, and make sure to use the custom emojis that are now also at your disposal. All other viewers who have joined us in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. At the moment, we're waiting for the next traffic to come this way. Looks like an A321neo from JetBlue to Boston will be next. You can see the pipeline of outbound traffic. If you look on flight radar, round the intersection of the center north-south runway and the east-west oriented runway 0927, you can see airplanes that are outbound. That is where the de-icing takes place, so you can see in advance which airplanes are going to go there. In the meantime, I am replacing the battery of the glove that gave out. At the moment, parallel departures once again in progress, so I think it's also time to update the ticker. Once again, let's have a look and also see what has changed in terms of the weather. Probably not a lot. This is the METAR, and let me refresh it so that we have the latest version. Wind is blowing from the east, variable between northeast and southeast, just 3 knots. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more. We have few clouds at 1,500 feet and the temperature is 1 degree above zero. No significant changes in the weather are expected. This is the website of Air Traffic Control Netherlands, and once again, parallel departures from the 36 left runway and center. We are standing right here at the beginning of 36 left, where the departures take place to the north. Arrivals take place from the southwest to the northeast. Runway 06 is now the only runway in use for arrivals. So while we're waiting for the A321 from JetBlue to come this way and become visible, let me quickly paste that METAR I just copied into the ticker so you guys can read it back if you like to, and also update the runway usage. 36 left and also 36C, and arrivals is now just 06. Right. So the wind has picked up a little bit despite the METAR saying it's still a 3-knot wind. I can definitely say it's a bit more than that, but still not very significant. We are seeing quite a few airplanes coming this way. The JetBlue A321neo is now in fact becoming visible in the distance. Hey, Suparna 747 to Nanjing also underway. That might be a candidate for this runway, ladies and gentlemen. Suparna, a Chinese airline carrier, is allowed to fly over Russian airspace, so I think it might come this way. But let me not say that too. Let's not jinx it. Shortly after the A321neo that you see on the left, we are going to see a few heavies from the right also appearing. The first one will be a Dreamliner from United going to Chicago, then a narrow-body Finnair, followed by a 777 from KLM to Paramaribo, and another BizJet, an E35, an Embraer Legacy 650, also coming this way. More BizJets. And let me zoom in. The Suparna 747 will be coming this way. It's not on the taxiway to the center runway, but it is coming to the polderbaan. We are going to see a queen in a few moments. Now, in the meantime, over here in the water, all is still quiet. If you want to see the ducks and the coots and the grebes, we'll need to go to a different location around the perimeter. Also further north, nothing to be seen. In fact, it seems like a quiet day altogether over here. Not seeing a lot of movement. Also, no people seem to be standing at the gates of the official spottersplaats. Just one car over there. And a truck. Oh, and a second car. We do see a departing airplane from center. In the meantime, in the background, more of the arriving airplanes. In fact, there's another one, the United Dreamliner. Now JetBlue is moving past the entrance to the runway, so it will be taking off from the runway threshold. I'm expecting the heavies will do the same. In the meantime, the Suparna 747 is also coming this way, taxiing north. And that little bizjet also coming this way. Evelyn asks where I'm currently standing. I'm standing in line with the taxi route from the main platform area to the polderbaan, which is just a few, well, 100 meters or so, walking into the grass. If you follow, I think this road, I'm not sure what this road is called. There's a roundabout over here. Oh, there it is. Right, well, time to go to the threshold. A321neo, JetBlue, going to Boston, Massachusetts. The A321neo, 1 year old, first flight June 2022. Now, another narrow body is probably going to skip ahead. Finnair A321, most likely going to go to Helsinki. 6 years old, first flight April 2017. And in the meantime, over at the threshold, the United Dreamliner is lining up. This is going to be a turn and burn, most likely. See. Right, now. Next up, United Airlines going to Chicago O'Hare, flight 908 7878 Dreamliner. 9 years old, first flight June 2014. And indeed another one disappearing in thin air. Absolutely. Right, 777 time. Got KLM flight 713 lining up behind me, going to Paramaribo in Suriname. Also, Her Majesty is coming this way. Suparna going to Nanjing. This 777 is 12 years old. First flight was in January 2011. All right. Her Majesty has arrived and Sutu has a cloud. And over here we have another BizJet. Will be taking off pretty soon. Now behind the Suparna there's also an Embraer coming to this entrance. And Nicola has to go. See you again on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Now the question is, which airplane will depart first? The Embraer 190 to Aberdeen. It's waiting, but it is holding short, so I think, yeah, BizJet will go first. I can already hear the Embraer spooling up, entering the runway. KLM flight 1445 Embraer 190 going to Aberdeen. 9 years old, first flight January 2014. You might even get to see an EasyJet Airbus A321, BA Sleepbird for the Queen, which is now lining up. EasyJet A321 is actually lining up here. EasyJet, I keep saying EasyJet, it is of course Speedbird, British Airways. Going to London Gatwick, flight 2541, 19 years old, first flight October 2004. Alright, first Queen of the day, Her Majesty Suparna Airlines flight 87414 going to Nanjing, China, Boeing 747-400 freighter. She is 32 years old, ladies and gentlemen. First flight of this airplane was in August 1991. I was still in elementary school back then, still a few years away from graduating. Showtime. She's definitely climbing much faster than the A340 does, even though it's probably fully loaded. So it does look like the wind has picked up just a little bit. There's a bit more of waviness in the water. Also looking at the chimney smoke, it seems to be blowing in this direction, which would mean that the wind is blowing from the northeast. Looking at the windsock in front of the fire station, this is what we can see. Parallel departures are still in progress. There's also another airplane already at the threshold that is waiting for the wake turbulence of the Queen to have dissipated enough so that it can take off. That is an EasyJet A319 going to Birmingham, flight 27849, 14 years old, first flight December 2008. And it is going. Robert asks, at what age English is taught in schools in the Netherlands and if it is compulsory? It is compulsory, and well, you have to imagine I'm 41, so when I'm talking about my school time, we're talking about more than 2 decades ago already, but back then it was being taught in the last 3 years, I think, of elementary school, and then it was also, I think it is still a mandatory subject for high schoolers to graduate in. So, means it's being taught from age, what is it? How old was I? I think I was 11 or 12 going to high school, so probably from age 9 or so. And Rich is giving a heads up of an A340 soon. That's cool. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? We can compare the climb rate of the A340 and a 747. Yeah, I do see it is on the move already. Got a few interesting planes coming this way. Now, over here we have a Dreamliner 10 going to Panama City. And having turned around the corner in the distance just now is an E2 Embraer going to Copenhagen. What else is in the pipeline? Hey, is that Dash 8 that we... No, that's the Coast Guard. Huh. 2 Dash 8s in one stream. Who would have thought? This is the Coast Guard Dash 8. The one that we still see regularly. And at least until today, since the demise of Flybe, the only turboprop that I have seen in recent times over here at Schiphol Airport. Coast Guard flying to the west, to the sea, doing some coast guarding. And in the meantime, having lined up is KLM flight 757, which of course is not a Boeing 757, but a 787-10 Dreamliner going to Panama City. Might be imagining it, but I do get the feeling that the distinction thing is getting a bit less bad. Still a little bit here and there, but does seem to be a little bit better. Maybe it has to do with the temperature, maybe it has to do with breaking in the new mechanism. In the meantime, While we are waiting for the next airplane to line up, let me go back to the computer because I saw that Robert just now gifted 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for that, Robert. Very much appreciated. Don't forget to say thank you if you just got gifted a membership by Robert. Robert, thank you so much for that. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new AMS Live members. You've now all the custom emojis at your disposal. Tiger asks, how many years is actually elementary school in the Netherlands? Well, I think you start with 3rd grade. Not sure if 1st and 2nd grade are also... Do they count as elementary school? The only thing I can remember is having been in... Well, no, maybe I have been in... Yeah, I think there is also a 1st and 2nd grade, so that would make it 8 grades. Then high school, depending on the direction you choose. For me, it was 6 years. After that, university. But it all depends if you are going for a more theoretical route, if you're going for a more practical route, if you choose to do... If you choose to do just one school after elementary school, or if you choose to continue, but high schools, I think, between 4 and 6 years, depending on the direction, and then you can still choose several higher education courses, which also vary between 4 and 6 years, or 7. Right, well, current status quo, looking to the west. You can see that a few more clouds have formed. This is looking to the north. Pretty comparable with yesterday, actually. Although yesterday it was a bit more nebulous. This is looking to the east. Looks good. We did have a cloud in front of the sun just now, but now it's all good again. SAS A320neo to Stockholm. Also nice to see that the two cousins are probably going to depart back to back. A330-300 coming this way, and we can compare that to the climb rate of the A340-300 that is following it. Alright, SAS A320neo going to Stockholm is what we are seeing. If I point the camera in the right direction. Flight 556 A320neo, 1 year old, first flight September 2022. Rich says, I have never seen an A340 take off, so this will be amazing. Man, if that is going to be your first, then prepare for something interesting. You'll see that the climb rate of these airplanes is terrible. We saw the Queen just now. We're going to see the A330 first, so we are going to set a frame of reference. then you can see how this compares. So, setting our frame of reference is Delta Airlines Flight 259, Airbus A330-300 going to Boston, Massachusetts in a few moments. The airplane is 16 years old and its first flight was in July 2007. But not before I am going to the computer to say a big thank you to Evan, who just now gifted an AMS Live membership. If you got gifted the membership, don't forget to say thank you to Evan. Evan, thank you once again. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, that new member. Gear is retracting, albeit slowly, in typical A330 fashion. And if I zoom out, you can see just what it looks like, the climb rate. Now keep that in mind, also taking into account that the Queen was climbing a little bit slower, but she was probably fully loaded. And let's see how that stacks up against the A340. I'm not sure if the A340 is going to take off right away. And I think Russell is showing itself for the first time. No, we are going to be lucky, it seems like. For a moment I was wondering maybe the A320 or what is it will take off from this entrance, but it isn't. So then the question is, will this one do that or maybe not? Hey there, Madeira Aviation Spotting, good to see you again. Hope all is well. What is it going to do? Also continuing, great. Means that we can focus on the Surinam Airways A343 going to Paramaribo. Being powered by 5 APUs, 4 under the wings and 1 for the electricity and whatnot. Let's go. It looks a bit goofy, doesn't it? With that additional 2 wheels between the main landing gear. "100 feet. "150 feet. 200 feet. Right. Time for me to take a sip of water. This is going to be a while. Slowest climber in the game. And you can see why. Or at least you can see it confirmed, I should say. It's working its balls off to get off the ground and gain altitude. Probably will have reached cruising altitude just before the top of descent. I think that might be it, Jackie. The fifth wheel too heavy. Pure lead and what else is heavy? Right, the EasyJets are ready to go, so let's go back to that first. Hey Lance, good to see you again, mate. Did not see you there before. Welcome to everybody who has joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan, runway 36 left, which, no, it's not yet the only runway again for departures. Father Norman says goodbye, has to go. Thank you for joining, Father Norman. Always a pleasure to have you on the stream. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Over here we have EasyJet going to Southend, an A319, flight 27985, Austrian registered, so you'll hear Alpine on radio. 16 years old, and its first flight was in February 2007. Alright, well, Russell has just flown away. He's now with his homies somewhere in the field. I think they might have set up a crowbar over there. Oh, seems like the tripod once again has shifted a bit crooked. Yeah, horizon is no longer straight. Keeps happening. Think the ground is melting a little bit. It was a bit firmer earlier in the morning, but now that the sun has been shining on it, maybe also my trampling along the tripod feet. Kein Banaan says, hello AMS Live, this is my first time on your stream. Great stuff. Welcome, Kein Banaan. Sounds German. Am I right in thinking that? Welcome to the stream. Glad to see that you're enjoying. Hope everybody is. Don't be afraid to say hi in the chat like Kein Banaan just did. Nicola says there's a 747 from Cathay Pacific Cargo arriving in 10 minutes. Thanks for the heads up. Let me have a look and see. It should be landing on the runway that we are standing relatively close to. You won't be seeing a lot with the sun also being out over there. The airplanes will be coming from there and will be moving like so. Let me see where it is. First of all, let me go back to a filter on flight radar for Amsterdam. Alright, the 7478 is near Almere. Okay, well, I'll try to keep an eye out for it, and if it gets close by, I will see if I can film it. Oh, well, and over here it does look a bit more level again. Just checking the horizon. Okay, well, here it does look relatively doable still. Bit crooked. I'm always standing in grass land and sandy. Well, no, this is making it worse. The bubble spirit says it should be level in this orientation, more or less. It's not too crooked, at least. I think it's decent enough. Right, well, we're waiting for traffic to come this way, and we are going to see a couple of heavies, but in the meantime, let's focus on what we can see, and that would be this 777 going to Dubai. Emirates in the old standard livery. Luckily, AMS Live members have access to the latest iteration with the ribbon tail. Looking on flight radar, there are Dreamliners coming this way, United to Washington, and also Air Canada to Toronto. And over here, yeah, it's not perfect. Leveling. I think it is decent enough still. Better than it was before, at least. Two Dreamliners coming this way. And I'm also seeing the A320neo from play. Is it going to, or is it just coming from the de-icing area? Bird controller also doing a little cameo. That is two Dreamliners coming our way. Jackie also says that the ETA to Rome is on the move. That's a location I find difficult to assess, if a destination of which I think it is difficult to assess if it's going to take off from center or not. I think it might go to center, in fact. Make a right-hand turn and then fly to the south. Hey, Uncle Tom, also present. Watching the Sydney stream first. Well, that's the good thing of being alive today in this day and age, that if you're an airplane enthusiast, you can always choose several live streams from all over the world to watch. Two Dreamliners coming this way. And an A320 and an Embraer 190 will follow it. And I seem to have been wrong about the ETA. It seems to be coming this way as well. So that is good news. Oh, that's a nice combo. The bright red Play A320neo is following the dark azzurro blue Ita Airways A320neo. Wouldn't it be something if they took off back to back, and we could also see them taxi towards us in a few minutes. Makes for a nice colorful contrast. Now, obviously the Dreamliners will be taking off from the runway threshold. Out in the distance, first of all, an A320 from EasyJet will be going to Bristol, and even further back is an Embraer 190 going to Cork. The Air Canada Dreamliner already has its sunglasses on. Oh, holy shit, my chat window was stuck. Man, I already thought it was a bit quiet on the chat, but whenever I swipe with the phone, often the screen freezes after that, or at least it doesn't refresh. But a big thank you to, first of all, JD for gifting 5 AMS Live memberships, celebrating 400 likes. Thank you all so much for your 400 likes, ladies and gentlemen. And also a big thank you to Austrian Wolf, who also gifted 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much, both of you. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, the new members. Don't forget to say thank you to JD and Austrian Wolf. In fact, one of the people who just received a gifted membership by either of the two. Guys, thank you so much once again for the gifted memberships and for the likes. Almost missed the departure there of the Dreamliner, the first of the two. Next up is Air Canada Flight 809 going to Toronto, Canada. Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. The windsock over there seems to be a bit more horizontal than the other at the fire station. I think it has to do with the direction of the wind. Right, this is Air Canada Flight 809, 787-9 Dreamliner to Toronto, Canada. 5 years old, first flight was in January 2018. And the stiction is still there. Happy New Year! You probably picked up on it, the fireworks. There's the culprit. Will we be hearing some more fireworks? We will. We are. Right. Now, where did the ETA go? I'm now only seeing play. So did the ETA eventually go to the center runway then, or? Right, well, perfect timing. The Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 should make its appearance behind us in a moment, so let's have another look. I think there it is. Perfect timing. So what happened to the ETA then? Must have taken off from the center runway then. Or have I missed anything? Oh, that tripod stiction is not really improving. So that jumpiness when the left-right movement stops and you have to initiate it again, that initial jump, it's not supposed to be there. I think it is a matter of time and wearing in the new bit of kit. But for now it is a bit annoying. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for play. The A320neo going going to Reykjavik, and ETA is going to the center runway. Okay. Right, this is the A320neo from play going to Reykjavik, flight 461. A 6-year-old airplane that had its first flight in April 2017. Oh, okay guys. What time is it? I wonder if anybody has the time. Oh wait, it is playtime. Oh. Looking at my screen and trying to follow the camera. Yeah, look at the climb rate. If you compare that with the A340, wouldn't have even gotten a 10%. Now, this is an interesting question. Johanna asks about the de-icing, where it takes place. Let me try to show you guys. If you look at the map of Schiphol, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit over here. Oh. The de-icing takes place over here in this corner between the center runway and the east-west runway. So if you look on flight radar, for instance, in this area, you will see the airplanes parked and then continue taxiing either to the beginning of this runway or around this runway to the Polderbaan. That is the de-icing station. Unfortunately, it isn't directly visible from over here. That's a bit of a bummer. So we cannot see it from over here, but that is where it actually takes place. Nice question, Johanna. Now, looking on flight radar, you can see that there's an E2 Embraer 195 to Copenhagen that is just entering the de-icing area. And Delta Airlines to JFK has just left over there. In front of it, Dreamliner from TUI to Bonaire. And we also have a 737 from KLM going to Dublin coming this way. And still no birds in the water, but I did see Russell over there landing just now. Looking in the field left of me, but I don't see his bros anymore, or Cheryl. Ah! And Tom, photo for you, is informing us that because of the solar activity we might have a chance of seeing the aurora tonight. If it doesn't fog up like yesterday evening. Really had me scared for the chances for today's stream, but was very relieved and surprised at the same time to see that the fog that we had yesterday evening had cleared up. And another bro, Russell and the bro. And also a good day to Aphrodite, and congratulations and thank you for your continued support, Aphrodite, celebrating 5 months of membership already and a moderator for 3 months already. Time flies, absolutely, and thank you so much for your continued support there. Hope that you will stay a moderator for many more months to come, Aphrodite. Good to see you again. Cathay Spotter, good afternoon to you too. Welcome. Did not see you there. Ginos Kokinos, hello. Good day to you. All the other viewers who have joined in the meantime, good morning to you too. Or, well, good afternoon, at least over here it is. Time flies. And so too do the airplanes. Right, that is the 737-800 to Dublin, which will be the first airplane to take off in the upcoming batch. They're spaced out a little bit. The TUI Dreamliner to Bonaire is going to arrive as number 2. There's also a MAX 8 from Iceland Air coming. Delta is on the move. And Dreamliner to, what is it? That is still, are they still de-icing? Probably so. Tom says you could catch the A380. Is that also arriving? Right. It is approaching. Still a bit out, but definitely on its way, already in Dutch airspace. Nearing Elburg. So that is still, yeah, 15 to 20 minutes indeed. Keep me posted in the chat, folks. Might forget it, but if the A380 is going to land and, well, wait a minute. What was the runway usage again? Alright. Kaagbaan the only one. Is that, let me refresh. Is that still accurate? Because I can, okay, hey. Nice. Well, in that case, we should be able to see it. Hard to miss a big behemoth such as the A380, so beautiful TUI Dreamliner coming this way, nicely illuminated by the sun. And in the meantime, entering the runway almost is a little KLM 737. Also trying to get back on flight radar to the right part where I can press the right labels. There we go. KLM flight 935 737-800 going to Dublin, Ireland. 23 years old, this airplane. First flight December 2000. And thank you, John, for your kind words, saying your streams rock, boy. I'm glad you're enjoying them, John, and I hope everybody else is too. Windmills in the background are spinning. To be honest, I didn't really pay much attention to them earlier, but I do definitely notice that it is a bit more windy right now. I'm not sure if they also spun earlier in the stream, but you can definitely see more distortion in the water, more rippliness, definitely a bit more wind. The Dreamliner to Bonaire from TUI making its way to the threshold. And Hussein is tuning in all the way from Iraq. Welcome! Welcome to the show. Hope you're having fun. Hey there, Curly. Welcome to the show, folks. Hope everybody is having fun. Don't be afraid to say hi if you're new to the channel and you haven't said hi yet. If you have a question, also feel free to ask. There are many viewers here. Many of them are knowledgeable and all of them are friendly. And definitely don't forget to drop a like if you haven't done so already. If you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams, your best way to do that is to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you get notified by YouTube whenever I schedule another live stream, which is probably going to be tomorrow. Weather should be good. I think we might get a few snowflakes on Sunday. Or at least that's what it said when I checked the weather this morning. Most are friendly. Indeed, John. Not you. But most are. Hey, Patrick. Welcome to the channel. Good morning. Tuning all the way in from New Mexico. So, you're up early then. What's the time difference? 8 hours? 9? Evan asks, do they bite though? Are you talking about the viewers? Maybe on request? Right. Delta A330. Slowly moving to the runway threshold. Iceland Air Max 8 following suit, or will it take a right hand turn, come this way? We've got our answer. Further in the background is a 737-800. And Snorri also celebrating 5 months of membership and says, hello, I'm not in the chat a lot, but I am watching. I've seen you in the chat regularly enough, Snorri. Thank you so much for your continued support. Congratulations. And also, once again, a big thank you. Hope that you are going to stay a Valiant member for many more months to come. Oh, bumped into my tripod leg. Again, one of those visceral departures. You could actually feel the pressure of the sound hitting your chest. Right. Quick check to see where the A380 is, and that is now downwind. So that's still several minutes out. Here we have Iceland Air Flight 507, a Max 8 going back to Reykjavik in a moment. 4 years old, this airplane. The first flight was in June 2019. That was a very careful rotation. Right. Thought I heard something. Might have been the spooling up of the E2. 737-800. Going to Göteborg. KLM flight 1155. Right, A380 15 line. Thanks, Afrodita. As soon as it is between New Vennep and Hoofddorp, we will be able to see it appear from behind the trees. In the meantime, welcome one and all. A380 will be arriving soon. We've got this beautiful E2 Embraer 195 taking off in front of us. Going to Copenhagen, KLM flight 1129. Brand new airplane. First flight was in June this year. Center runway has, well, not reopened. We already saw that it was open, but just noticing a heavy that just took off from it. Seen it a couple of times now that, and you might probably not pick up on it because of the directionality of the Sennheiser microphone, but whenever a heavy takes off from the center runway, the volume often overpowers the E2's engine noise or that of the A220. So we have an EasyJet little airplane over here going to London Luton up next, A319. Time to zoom out again. Right, A380 is near my hometown and is now approaching quickly, so I'm going to forego the departure of this airplane and turn the camera a little bit more this way, because that is the 737 and behind it should be the A380, so you should be able to see it from over here in a minute. Now number 5 worldwide most tracked airplane will appear pretty soon. The Emirates A388 flight 147, the A380 arriving from Dubai. The daily flight in the old standard livery. Emirates Live members have access to the latest iteration. The airplane is now followed on flight radar by 468 people, making it the number 5 worldwide most tracked. The airplane seems to have taken a bit longer than normal to get here. Normally speaking, at this point where it is in the sky, it would have flown around 6.5 hours, and today it is 6 hours and 52 minutes. Must have had a bit of headwind underway. The airplane we're about to see is 7 years old and had its first flight in the year 2016 in February. Emirates flight 147, the daily A380. Big ass airplane, but the lighting is not very favorable. The sun, of course, not high above the horizon anymore this time of year. using a lot of backlight. But it is unmistakably recognizable as an A380. And this is where we are going to lose sight of it. Alright, well, let's have a look at what is coming this way. It's now almost 1 p.m. Heavy taking off from center, 777 to Delhi, KLM. So it does look like the traffic to this runway is drying up a little bit. We have a 737-800 right now approaching. Further back, just turned around the threshold, the southern threshold of the center runway is a 737-700. Not much will be coming immediately after it, so I'm thinking maybe it's a good time to wrap up for today and go back hopefully tomorrow. Weather looks like it is going to be similar to what it was today and yesterday. Maybe just follow this Transavia as the last airplane then, and then wrap it up nicely in time. Or are there actually coming? Are there actually some airplanes coming? It looks like 2 airplanes are now leaving the icing area. Big airplanes. 777-200 to Narita. Well, that's going to take off from center. And 1 to Houston. Well, not going to stick around for that. I think I am going to wrap it up after the departure from this Transavia. Right, folks, I am going to wrap up for today. Hope to see you all again on the next stream. Looking to go out again tomorrow, weather permitting, but I think the weather will permit me to do so. So hopefully I will see you all then. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time here despite the low temperatures, and I hope you guys had fun as well. Thanks to everybody who became a member out of their own volition or got member because they got gifted a membership. Thank you to the people who were so kind to once again gift memberships in abundance. Thanks everyone who dropped a like. the reason for the gifted memberships later in the stream. If you haven't done so already, but you did like what you saw, don't forget to drop another like, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams. Hopefully my next live stream will be tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you there, and then thanks to all the other people who super chatted or super stickered, and also thanks to everyone who might have purchased something from the merch store lately. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you moderators for once again making the chat a friendly, nice and accessible place. Looking forward to seeing you all on the next one. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care and see you soon. Bye for now.